National Arikok, also known as Aruba's National Park. It is a beloved place to visit by all locals and tourists. It is a protected area with incredible nature for all of us to explore. The foundation that manages and protects the park recently underwent a transformation of their entire brand. But why? Why go from FPNA, Fundación Parque Nacional Aruba, to ACF, Aruba Conservation Fund? More importantly, why is it so important to do so? It turns out the responsibilities and roles of the former FPNA has grown and expanded.
So to encapsulate the essence of nature itself, we said, okay, we have to change the name because it's conservation then of nature as a whole and not only the protected areas. So that is the main change because it used to be Fundación Parque Nacional Aruba, which is Aruba National Park Foundation, and that name actually has the word parque, so park in it. And that says like, okay, you're managing parks, and that is not the reality. We manage more than just parks.
In order to meet the scope of work they were doing and want to continue doing, it was only natural, no pun intended, to transition to ACF. With this transition, Tyson and his team can look beyond Aruba and see what other parts of the world are doing when it comes to nature conservation.
So we need to be smarter. So there's more responsibilities now compared to the past. Before we only used to manage Parque Nacional Arikok, but right now the scope of work has broadened so much that we also need to become more professional, more efficient in the way we are doing things. And that is basically also keeping up with what is happening outside of the island, because I've recently been notified that also an island in St. Lucia is doing the same transition as we're doing. So from a park management to a conservation management organization, it's keeping up with what is happening and the reality of the work of conservation.
FPNA had the word park in it, so immediately the thought is, okay, you manage Arikok Park, when in reality they manage and protect so much more of Aruba. Take a look at this map outlining the management areas of Aruba Conservation Fund. Everything in color falls under the protection of ACF. In total, the organization manages close to 25%, 1/4 of the entire island's natural terrain, plus 0.2% of the island's territorial waters. If there's one thing the CEO of ACF wants you to know, it is that nature comes first.
What I would want people to understand, we're putting nature first, and then we say, okay, how can we make these areas accessible in the most sustainable way possible? And that is a mind shift basically, because if you say, no, you're doing recreational, and second, you do conservation, you're always creating ways for recreational purposes. So right now with the conservation first mindset framework is, okay, we're going to conserve nature, and okay, how can we make it still accessible for visitors to visit the protected areas in the most sustainable way?